Welcome to Angel Cafes, enlightening conversations from around the world with people who are living their dreams and their inner guidance.
Good morning. Welcome to Oasis Harbor Callings. I'm Cheryl Ralph, and I'm sitting in the Angel Cafe today, where the sun is shining brightly, where ships are coming into the harbor, and the captains are walking on in here for a little bit of coffee, conversation, a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of rest, and a little bit of sort of rejuvenation and refreshment, as they sort of contemplate the next leg of their journey. This is a perfect place to share where you've come from and maybe where you're at right now. And then we'll look at where your thoughts may be going into the next leg of another journey. This morning's guest is LS Marie. Hello, Marie. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm very excited to be here. It's an honor.
I love your heart. I can just feel it soaring right now. It's my honor to be just learning a bit more about you and helping you share who you are and what you're doing. So LS Marie of Inner Soarings is, Marie, I have to ask you something before we get started. I always call you Marie, and I know some people call you LS. And I think this is a good place to start because I think there's a little journey around that name. Am I right?
Yes, there is. The journey around that name is that I was actually born as Linda Sue. And as my life progressed, the name Linda became associated with too many people and too many things. And when I had my start over, I just sort of shortened it to LS. And then the Marie just kind of progressed. She showed up one day in my heart and said, "No, LS Marie is who you really are," and so that's what happened. And I don't mind. You call me Marie, you call me LS, you call me LS Marie. All of those are welcome. So.
Thank you for that. I've known you for, a few weeks, maybe a couple of months now, and I've always called you Marie because I wasn't sure what the LS was. So because I'm a creature of habit, which isn't always a good thing, I'll probably refer to you as Marie. Thank you for that.
That's good. That's good.
Yes. So how are your experiences cresting the waves coming into the harbor going for you? Are you feeling a little bit like you've been on a rocky road, or has your journey been progressing over the last few years or more recently even? Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. At the moment, my journey is really wonderful. And I know a lot of it has to do with coming into Oasis and to the harbor. Anticipating coming into the harbor has been really wonderful. Before that, for about 2 years, I was on some pretty stormy seas. And the whole time I was looking for something like this, and I was anticipating. I was grieving, and I was bringing that grieving to closure, and I kept going back to what I knew to do, which is, share love and light and write a whole lot. So then, just as I was thinking I might have to do this by myself, Oasis shows up. And now I understand. We are meant to share, so I'm here.
It's always better to connect with other people, isn't it? We learn so much from them.
We
Sometimes
do.
just through our vibrations and sometimes through listening and learning more about their journeys too. So that's exactly why we're here today. I love that you do a lot of writing. What kind of writing are you mostly interested in, or do you see that writing progressing to anything?
It started out as journals. And just to give you some context, I was in a very dark place for a while. I was in an abusive marriage. I had many illnesses, and I honestly believe that is because I wasn't in a loving place. I had to do my loving inside only, and I started writing it. I I started journaling, I started writing, and then the poetry just started coming out and surprised me. And then from poetry, it grew into prayers for others, because I think for me, I had to love other people before I could turn around and love myself as much. But I have to say, Cheryl, I have always told stories. Story is my communication. So they've all mixed together. And I had a blog for 5 years that was stories with a prayer or prose right after. And that was really wonderful, but it wasn't live. And I wanted to be live. So
You felt the need to share. I'm hearing that loud and clear. As you soar, you just want others to soar too, don't you?
mm,
And
yes.
you know, the truth is, hindsight is wonderful, because as we look back, excuse me, on some of our past experiences that perhaps as we went through them didn't feel that great, I hear your story and I hear that, you know, you crested that wave and you're just sort of, the bow of your ship's just breaking through a few waves right now, because you've got that confidence and you do love yourself. And that's just beautiful to see. I think that's a wonderful story. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
So at this point in time, you know, I feel that in the Oasis, we're all growing at different levels. And I'm just wondering how you're feeling about your growth, most in particular about your place now, where not just where you've come from now, but where are you right now in your growth?
I see so many people wanting to love themselves and to know the ways of love. And since that's what I have focused on, it's as if somewhere I signed up to be an ambassador for love. And if I can share that in a global setting like Oasis, well, that just lights my heart on fire even more. And I think that love is misunderstood. I think that love seems unattainable to some. And yet I know exactly what I did to get where I am right now. And for me, love is the way I live, and love is the goal, and love is the source of power. So,
well, can I ask you something? As you're navigating through this, as you're navigating through the Oasis now that you found us, what do you think holds that guidance steady for you? Do you find it in our groups? Do you find it in your purpose? Do you find it in something else?
I think that not only did I find kindred spirits, which means I don't have to explain my heart to people, and I can honor their heart, and they don't wonder why I'm doing that. That's part of it. But it's also that here in Oasis, we are welcoming everybody exactly as is and embracing them where they are on their journey, and yet same time sharing our journey, so that everybody, it's like all of us are getting little gifts every time we get together. And I am much for reciprocity, for giving gifts, because I know when you do, it changes someone, even if it's just an answer to their question.
It's almost like our gifts are just that little bit of seeing another light put on the subject, isn't it? And I know we all have different gifts. So I was just going to ask you what your first gift is.
Feeling.
Oh, I'm a feeler too.
Yeah, I know the difference between when I'm in there and I'm heart-centered and feeling, and when I'm not. And I can say that it's like being stranded in the desert with no water if I'm not in my feeling heart. And in my feeling heart, it's like being in the Oasis Harbor with all the other people.
With all the connections, right? The connections to everybody else, as well as our angels along the way. And
yes.
I love the group practices that we do, because I think that there's a practicality to repetition, and I just love that. What do you see for your inner soarings? Do you have a vision for your next journey?
Oh, I'm so excited about that. Thank you for asking. I have something that I want to try in the Oasis groups once I'm through with Foundation and Universal, which is the next level. And it's going to be entitled Love Speak. And it's something that means so much to me because I remember asking guidance and love to show me how to speak with a loving heart as opposed to in my head. And it was a journey, and I'm still on it, and I will be. But I want to share how it's a process, and it's beautiful, and there's many ways and many avenues that you can go. But I have a really simple series, and I'm really excited.
I'm excited too. That sounds absolutely beautiful.
I mean, just think of the words "love speak." So how perfect, you know?
And what a world we would have if we all spoke like that. But we're all looking for it, aren't we?
I believe so. I believe that that's the missing ingredient in many lives and frustrations. It's just this, it's almost as if you could just say, just a little bit and look at from the heart, like that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And we all have different ways we get there at different times in our life. But that's beautiful. That'll be an interesting journey. And the beauty of this cafe is when you're listening to other people and doing those connections, you learn more about, what that journey is going to look like for you. And you're just that little bit more wiser about where you're going. Isn't that beautiful? Mm-hmm.
I love, I think that Oasis just like somehow or other, it puts opportunity right in front of us as opposed to us having to dig and go into a whole lot of other places to find it. It just kind of appears when we're ready, and that's the guidance and the centering that we do and the sharing.
Yeah. And as a feeler too, I always know when I'm in the right place, don't you?
My barometer, yes, my feeling barometer. If I notice that there's, a sensation of clouds coming, I go, okay, excuse me one moment, I need to do some guidance and some centering, and I'll be right back. And yeah.
Good.
Really,
well, thank you so much for sharing today. That's been wonderful, Marie.
You're welcome.
Really enjoyed that. And for everyone else, I just want to remind you that this cafe is open to us all. And the Oasis is actually a place to actually grow your guidance, to grow and expand, find your gifts, be more of who you are, to share with others, to help them, because I know we all feel being of service is very important. Thank you very much.
My honor.
And on that note, we'll see you at the next one. I'm looking forward to it.
Join us next time on Angel Cafes for new and exciting adventures around the world.